Good morning and welcome back to another tutorial. It is Sarah here. So I wanted to hop in here and I want to show you behind the scenes today as I'm walking you through the client process, as I'm walking you through my process, as I'm showing you behind the scenes into an average 10K a month as a designer, hopefully normalizing that amount for you, by the way, and letting you see that like 10K a month as a designer, well, yes, you have to have, you've got to have the skills and you've got to have the ability in order to, be able to find the clients and then prospect and do the whole closing process. But just showing you that 10K a month is like a it's like a normal thing, and it's totally doable, and it's not like, only one in a few shiny unicorns are doing 10K a month as a designer. So I want you to see how entirely possible it is, because I'm doing it as if I were a brand new designer. And so as we're going through here and rebranding everything for the agency, as we're expanding and getting ready to move, I really am just so thrilled that I get to take you behind the scenes on the entire process. Okay. All right. So what I did this morning is I went in here and I redid our client folder. Okay, now the client folder is what I found to really be a great way to communicate back and forth the easiest. Otherwise, you end up even during my time in tourism when I was negotiating and working with other designers, even some of these super fancy, like high, super expensive designers, they were like, yeah, send me all the files and here and here. And it was just like, we could totally streamline this entire process. So that is where this was born, was from working on the client standpoint in my time in tourism, because I am always obsessed. Okay, you guys know, if you've been around me for any length of time, you guys know I'm obsessed with style, strategy, and systems. Like, those are my three things. And okay, I have to tell you this too, because I love like hanging out and talking as well. So I took a personality test the other day. I had just updated my bio on like Instagram and my official Work With Me application page. And I'm like, at my core, I'm all about style, strategy, and the systems for success. I took a personality test later that morning. It was somehow like a human designer or something had connected with me on Instagram, and she's like, "Have you ever taken a test?" I don't know how we got to talking. I took the test and it said that my profile highlights were strategy, systems, and success. And I was like, "Oh my god, that's so weird." So I'm always finding a way to maximize your time and be able to leverage it so that you can have freedom, because there are way too many designers out there. Don't be one of them that shifts into management mode. Okay. Remember, 80% of your time, if you want to continue to be successful, 80% of your time should be, or your efforts and your focus should be on finding new clients. Okay. Marketing, advertising, attracting, whatever that is. If any percentage of that shifts over and you're then left, here's what happens. You start to see some success. I had this happen in my own business. I've seen this happen in other designers' businesses where they're like, yay, they find their first couple of clients, and then all of a sudden they reach this success level. But because you're only one person, if then you spend most of your time communicating, managing clients, especially in the beginning when you're just one person, you don't have an assistant, you don't have systems in place, then all of a sudden you're not marketing anymore, and then you go back down. So what ends up happening, until you get these systems in place that allow you to grow and scale, you will go like this. You'll go up, down, up, down. I find a client, I'm find a bunch of clients, I'm seeing success, I client manage, I market less, I go down. And it's a roller coaster. Okay. Now there's always gonna be some ebb and flow in your business. You might be at a time where you're scaling or doing other things, you take a step backward. That's totally normal. But hopefully, with this training and hopefully with everything that you learn here inside of this course, you're going to set yourself up on the foundation for success, leverage, duplication, and automation. Okay, because this is very easy duplicatable. So, this is what I'm going to show you. The reason that this is so genius is because You don't have to communicate with your client back and forth. So it literally cuts out hours of just like blah blah babble. Like, can I get your logo things? Da, 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 da. No, send out, have one email template that you send out to all new clients, have the client welcome area, and then have this folder that literally all you need to do is copy this folder and then rename. Okay, so inside of my drive here, we're redoing all of our client folders right now. So inside of your folder, remember I showed you how to put the one in there that says clients. Okay, have one folder that says client folder. Keep this one blank as a template. Okay, because this is where all of the information is going to get copied. All right. So then what you can do is when you make a copy, let's see here. How do I copy this? How am I remembering? Let me think. Um, am I able to copy this entire folder or do I have to create a new one? I'm trying to remember how we did this before. Okay. So let's just name a new folder. We're going to say client and I'm going to say 2019. Okay, because I want to make sure that I keep my 2019 clients separate. You guys know I'm all about the organization. I'm going to rename this one and I'm going to name this one client folder. Now, remember, why am I titling this one? Any guesses? Because then it'll pop to the beginning. Yay, organization. Okay. So this is my template folder. Okay, so I'm going to actually rename that with client folder templates. Okay, so that way when my assistant comes in here, when other team members come in here, they're able to see this and know that it's the template folder. Okay, so now inside of 2019, I can create another one and say, '09, because then I'll know that it's a client from September. '09, uh, Lindsay A, and I'm going to put Kingdom Mom. Okay, so that is the name of this client. And when I see the number '09 in the front, not only will this keep it organized, so you'll know what order your clients are coming: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Always put the you don't have to, but when you put the number here, so for example, let's do another folder. I will be able to say '09 Heather Cakery. Okay, so that's another client. So then I'll be able to see my clients from September. If I want to do another client for October, I'll do 10. Oh, who's our October client? We'll just say Christina. Okay. So now you can see that it's like, oh, okay, here's my 2019 clients. This is a September client. This is a September client. This is an October client. Okay. That's just how my brain works. I like having it in order because then when you have a massive amount of clients, you've got to have a system to keep it organized. Otherwise, if things aren't organized and streamlined, you're wasting precious time trying to sort through your chaos. Okay, so just cut the chaos, streamline it, keep it organized. It makes you so much more productive, profitable, and effective in the long run. So now, as far as Lindsay goes, I can go ahead and copy anything that was in here. Okay, so I can say, I can go ahead, and this is the same thing that you guys can do too. I'm giving you the access to this client folder templates so you can see what I'm actually adding inside of the client folder. So for example, what we did here this morning was remember, I'm all about the client experience. Um, People aren't going to remember what you do necessarily or what you say, but they are going to remember how you make them feel. And if you are able to invoke an experience or an emotional response and just create this really awesome experience for your clients, they're going to remember that. That is how I have built up a raving referral base. Like, I can't even tell you. Um, on social media, if I know that someone is connected to me and they know that I design websites, and if even a semi-random stranger is like, "Hey, I need a website," my network is always like, "Oh my God, you have to call Sarah. She's the best in the world. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah." And it's like, okay, oh my gosh. Um, so anyways, so I focus on creating a really good, obviously with our being a luxury, like lifestyle branding agency, looking to create more of that high-end feel and high-end experience that's in alignment with our price points. Okay? So when you want to charge more, you want to get paid more, focus on providing a better experience and better quality. That's the simple end of it. That's it. You want to exceed what I'm charging for websites, do an even higher value, an even higher value experience. And then don't ever ask yourself, how can I cut the cost to make this more affordable to more people? No, always ask yourself, how can I add more value to justify the cost or justify the price? Okay. Don't ever ask yourself, how can I cut to make this more affordable? How can I add, okay, to increase the value to make this more of an irresistible offer? Okay, so always focus on adding value and justifying your price point rather than reducing your service level or value in order to meet someone at their lesser level. It's not worth it. Okay, so I just created this really quick thing here. All I did was I went into Canva, and as you guys know, you get a 3 month. You guys have a 3 month free membership into What the Tech. Okay, as a client or as a student of BWD, you already have that included, and that doesn't even pick up until after your course ends. Okay, so after the course ends, then you still get 3 months free inside of What the Tech to make sure that we're supporting you with some of all of the how-tos and stuff. So essentially, you're getting like 6 months for basically free into What the Tech, which is pretty exciting. And inside What the Tech, if you're looking for Canva tutorials, that's where those are. Okay, and Canva is also listed inside of the Business Resource Vault. I believe our partnership gets you when you use our link in the Business Resource Vault. Okay, so bit.ly SM Vault Insider. Make sure that you sign up for it. But Canva is down here inside of the photo and creating graphics. And when you click on this link, you use our link, you get a free 30-day trial into Pro, by the way, which is really awesome. So we just created really simple. I wanted to show you what it looked like. A welcome thing inside of our client resource folder. Obviously, it looks like she's being served, and that's how I want our clients to feel. I want to invoke the emotion of sit back, relax, enjoy the process. It's going to be really fun, because I know coming from experience how the experience can go with some designers. And sometimes after an experience like that, it's like, I'm I'm honored that you even decided to work with me, because I've heard horror stories of designers just taking the client's money, and it's just really bad. So don't be one of those designers. Always focus on that client at the time. Okay, so I always recommend, um, instead of managing multiple clients and multiple projects at the same time, your focus will be best spent and your client will get the best result if you spend one chunk of time on one client. Okay, so if you have like one big project, keep that project. But so for now, we are entirely booked out and through November at least. Okay, so do one big project. I always said, ideally, in my dream life, I would take one large client a quarter. Um, so there's that. So we've booked this client, we've set aside the design time. We're not doing any other client, like no multiple management. We do one client, one at a time. And when they're completely taken care of, then we move on. That otherwise you're like, who do I have to contact today? And you make a big mess in your brain. So when you know, like, I just have this one client right now, here's what I'm doing, it keeps you focused. It keeps a really good experience for the client. And oh my gosh, are they beyond shocked when you can complete a project that normally would have taken other designers, no joke, like 6 months, when you're able to do that in like a month. Or a project that would have taken a year in other huge design firms managing multiple clients, what would have taken them a year, you're able to complete in 3 months or less. Okay, even the biggest project out there, I'm talking like $100,000 project. Okay, There are big ones. Those are more for like tourism agencies, large businesses, more corporate businesses, those types of clients. Even if, or $50,000 projects, okay? Um, those that would normally take other companies and things like a year to design and develop and all the things, when you're using this like focused method, it should only take you like 3 months of like focused effort. Okay. All right. Okay. So then what I did was we created another graphic here, and we titled it number 2 so that it would go in order. Okay, so you can see, and this just literally gets them the access into our client area. Now we do change the password so that it's updated, and we always let our clients know, like, hey, make sure that you stay on our email list so that way you know when the password changes. Um, so yeah, so when someone clicks on, you can see that this is our landing page right now, by the way. Super simple, really different, really effective. I am loving it. So we're going to go to client. Okay, so now when someone gets to this area, they have to enter the password. And when they click go, it takes them to our client portal area. Okay, so inside here of the client portal area, if they push the concierge button, it'll really just send us an email. We've been very clear in our communication with like a new client welcome and stuff. So welcome to the client portal. As you can see, we put our Facebook bar up here so that they could also connect with us. We love networking with our clients. Here is our Instagram, because we really want to make sure that we're still growing our influence, connecting with our clients. Here's the welcome. So they get to watch a video, the new client checklist they can download here, and then refer and earn. When they click on that, it just takes them to a page where they learn more about referring business to us. Okay, here are all of the appointments. So anytime that we say, hey, make sure that you go look at our calendar, go make sure you book the next appointment. We don't, this, because I took a little time and set it up in here, I don't have to physically go create an appointment then for each client. Okay, so this limits my time in the future that doesn't have to be spent doing like busy work. It's going to be really tempting as a designer to think that you have to do like all this stuff and you want to feel, we like to feel busy because it makes us feel like we're doing something. But I want you to challenge your mind to, as an entrepreneur, not create busy work, but create productive work. And this might mean like that you have a notice on your phone multiple times a day that asks you, am I being busy or am I being productive? So, as a mental check, this is something I'm constantly working on. Even though I've been doing this for a long time, I realized that I was stuck in the cycle of wanting to feel busy to feel productive, but that productive means you can do the focusing on finding the minimal input with maximal output. That's the MIMO. Okay. Meaning it's a really weird thing when you're used to doing like a 9 to 5 and you're like, okay, I have 8 hours in a day, which means I should have to fill 8 hours in a day. Nope, not true. You actually want to figure out how you can do less and earn more. That's always been my philosophy. People called me crazy, but I was like, I want to build a business that I could work myself out of. And I don't know if that's possible, but that's always been my goal. And I've always been on that path. Like, and I ask myself, like, how can I get the same result, but like do less? um, so I don't know, that's just where I'm at. So adding these appointments in the client portal allows them to be able to book. And then we always put the next logical steps there for the client so that they know, hey, by the way, we just did this project. We would like to grow with you. We would like to service you after the project is done. Like, how can we help you next? That is part of the client ascension process, always having and grasping an understanding of that. Like, what's the next step? How can we upgrade you? How can we do, like, right? Okay, so um, you go from like a basic offer, and really what determines whether or not a client is going to upgrade on your client ascension process, right? That pyramid that we talked about. The decide the determining factors will be, do they get results and do they have a good experience? Those are the only two things. Those are the two things that is going to let a client know whether or not they want to continue to work with you. Results and experience. If you can get them results and you can provide a great experience, they're going to continue to work with you and they're going to refer other people. That is how, when done correctly, okay, you go from lead, prospect, paying customer, repeat client, raving referrer. Okay, that is the ultimate goal, is you want a repeat customer and a raving referrer. That is how you will when you treat your clients right, you get them results and an experience, you will end up spending less money on marketing and you will multiply. That one client will multiply because that one client, okay, can turn into another referral. Okay, that one referral can put one more. Okay, so then essentially out of one good client experience, you've got a minimum of 3 clients out of it. Okay, or maybe one person refers 3 people. Those 3 people each refer one person. Now you have, if my math is correct, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, roughly 10 clients out of one person. No joke. This is how it goes. It happens. And that's why people are like, "Well, how do you build a business entirely on referrals?" And well, for one, I'm not constantly focusing on the next client, the next client, the next client. Once, like, yes, we continue marketing so that we can continue to grow and like continue to be booked out. But while we have a client, we focus on that client. We focus on a experience that is going to make them be like, "Oh my God," like blown away, world class service. I've written this down since, I don't know, 10 years ago. I wrote on my board, like I wrote down what I wanted. I want a world class branding agency and design studio. World class. Okay, so meaning I want to be able to go head to head and compete against other top branding and design studios in the world by providing design serve and experience. Okay, that was always my goal. So there's that. So they know what happens after the project. So really quickly, looking here inside of the client folder and templates, we have a welcome. Okay, again, providing experience. We have information. I provided that in a graphic instead because photos and graphics link to emotions, right? Not only that, but it's also easier to read for the client. They're like, "Oh, welcome and client portal. Here's where I go." Great. So now they know where the password is. Even if for some reason they don't read their email or they lose things, they have it here inside the client folder. Here inside of the project updates document, we use the sheet to keep track of milestones, updates, and progress. It's for their records and it's also for your records. God forbid you ever have to prove things or legal things. It's always better to keep track so that way you can be like, "Look, this is what we were doing, this is what dates we did it on, and the client didn't deliver." And you can make note of that too if they're, for any reason, they're not like, they're not in there, they're not doing something. You can kind of keep track of that. Links and login. The links and login. This is where, if you were doing anything in relation to their social media management, social media makeover, anything like that, or if you had to access something. I know some people will have all of their brand photos already in a Dropbox. So if you needed the link to that, they'd have to provide that and then also the password. Now, keep in mind that when new clients are working with you, we always tell our clients, for the duration that our team is working with you, please go in and change your password to something that isn't, it protects not only our clients, but it also protects our designers. That way, in the future, if anything ever happens, which that's also why we put that in the legal contract, but in the future, if anything were to happen where they had a security breach, by having the clients change their passwords during that time to something like a dummy password, we know that it's nothing to do with our designers on our end. Okay, because we want to always make sure that we're protecting the client as well as our designers, or in the case if you don't have a team, protecting yourself. On this sheet here, the team members and contacts, this is where they would put the name, the position, and the contact information for anyone on their team Okay, if you're working with a brand, a business, a larger business, and you're going to be communicating with their marketing assistant, if you're going to be coordinating with maybe a former designer, a videographer, anyone that you're going to need to be contacting in order to service your brand or your client, they must put their contact information inside of there. Now, these are pretty self-explanatory. The brand photos are going to be where your client drops any high quality photos or images that they want incorporated onto the website. Copy and descriptions. You can see that we added another graphic in here so that the client can very easily and simply see what this is. If you would like us to use certain wording, this is called copy, okay, for non-designers who don't know, please add it to a document here and let us know where you want it. So for example, then we've just, as you can see, I put about me, about us, services and description. And we'll go ahead and add one in here that's miscellaneous. Um, all right. Okay. So there's that. All right. So then they can add that in there. Now, keep in mind when you are creating your when you're creating your pricing and proposals, if you're doing the copywriting for a website, that is usually something that people will charge extra for. Copywriters, professional copywriters are extremely expensive. So for the professionals, for the businesses or brands that understand how much a website should actually cost, if you're also going to be providing the wording for the website, that is another place where you're able to charge more because you're doing that service for them in one place. Okay. I happen to have a natural knack for copywriting. And so I like to provide that for my clients as well, which is why I can charge more because I'm doing the strategy, I'm doing the copywriting, the market, like all of that kind of wraps into one. So I'm able to give them style, I'm able to give them strategy, I'm able to add in some systems, some funnels, the copywriting, the wording, everything that's going to be able to sell. That is essential. And I'm going to teach you inside of like the copy that converts section how to write good copy, not just good copy, but how to write copy that sells, how to create emotional copy. And I'm also going to connect you to a copy expert. A copywriting coach. So if this is something that you want to work on, increase your value, increase your service amount. This is one of those instances where you would be able to increase your skills by working with her. And she, lays out how to format it and how to do all that kind of stuff. And I do have resources as well on how to create copy and headlines and what goes where. And we're going to work on that. All right. Okay. All right, so there is that. And then in here, you can see that this is just where their logo goes. Add your high quality PNG logo files here. Note it must have a transparent background. And as you can see on the bottom, need a logo, contact us, logo starting at $249. So our minimal logo designs, meaning the same process as our pre-styled sites. This is one of the services we offer. We create logos through Canva and the Over app. We specialize in minimal logos, meaning most of it is just like a fancy looking text over the thing. But if they want a logo, they can choose from that, and that is a service our designers provide. And also, I do have contracts with professional, like super high quality. If there's anything out of our scope, that I will work with or contract out to these super professional designers, kind of in my portfolio. Um, Meaning they're ones that went to school for graphic design. She went down in Chicago. She knows how to use the program, and so it's more worth my time to not try to design a logo that's like it would take extra time for me to do, and it's easier for me just to retain a 25% profit and then pay her the rest of the project price. Okay, so that's another option just to let you know. And if you are looking for a really good logo designer, and it's beyond just a basic logo, I would be happy to connect you to the logo designer that I have 3 of them that I refer to. Okay. All right. So that is what is listed here inside of the client folder templates. This is everything that your client should have inside of the folder before you complete this. So there's kind of like a 72-hour prep work. And inside of that prep time, what I'm doing is I'm making sure that the clients have had time to go in, add all of the necessary information. And then what we're going to do next is we will book a call for the following, so for example, today is a Thursday. We will give her about 72 hours to have all of this added in. So with it being a Thursday, I'm going to go ahead and reconnect with her and check and see for Tuesday. Now, if Tuesday works for her, she's going to be able to log in and book this here inside of the client portal area. As soon as she books an appointment, here's how this looks. So as soon as she books her initial appointment, that is going to be able to, oh, what the heck? As soon as she books that, I will be like, okay, I have some openings on Tuesday. If you only have certain days or times open, make sure that you are updating your calendar, your hours weekly. Okay. So if you have a current job right now and you can only take clients within certain areas, make sure that you've done that. Because otherwise you'll have a client that's going to book you and you're not available. It's like, oh crap. All right. So make sure that you're updating your hours. If you want, this is one of those times I recommend stopping the video and an action step, which would be to put a notification on your phone for Friday at 3 p.m., 4 p.m., noon, whatever time on Friday, say update your booking hours for the next week. Okay, so go do that. Okay, so each Friday at whatever time, you should have a note in your calendar, or this should just be something that you do on that day of the week. I like to put notifications in my phone, so when I get it, I can pop in here. It takes all of like 2 minutes, not even. Put a notification on your phone for Friday to update your hours for the coming week, so that way you can do that. If you know your calendar a month in advance, do that the month in advance after you get your current work calendar. If you know that you're going on vacation a certain month, like make sure that this is all done out. At the end of the month, when you are going over your income and expenses, so usually whatever the Friday is before the end of the month, so whether it's the 28th, 29th, 30th, whatever date that is that Friday, block that date off to go over incoming and expenses and update your hours for the next upcoming month. That's usually how you can do it as well. Okay. All right. So there is an overview of everything to include. And as usual, we kind of went over the basic concepts and then we went a little bit bigger. So the template for this is going to be listed inside of your student resource folder. Make sure that you create a copy of it so that you're not editing the original, because your other friends would very much be not happy with that. Okay, so make sure that you're creating your action steps away from this, if you want to, would be to create a little welcome card here and also create on Canva a link to your client portal. Okay, so if your client portal should be hidden on the page, it will say the name. Okay, or if you don't have a client portal yet, that's fine too. You honestly can operate without the client portal if you just have this Google Drive folder. So I don't want you to freak out and be like, oh, I can't get clients because I don't have a client portal area yet. I don't even care about that. I want you to focus on your fastest path to profits and your fastest path to cash. You can always go in and add a client portal area after you have a little bit of income coming in. Okay, so cash flow first. Alrighty, okay, so there is that. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to post them inside of the BWD Student Support Group. And remember to log in to either our Wednesday call for the BWD, or if it's not currently open, we are also doing calls inside of What the Tech. All right, so thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.